Let's turn now to the latest on the crash of a Delta Airlines passenger jet on Monday. Here is a look at the tarmac of Toronto's Pearson International Airport last night. The plane's fuselage was hoisted onto a flatbed truck and moved into a hangar. That's where investigators will examine the wreckage. And the CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick joins us now from the terminal just outside Toronto. So Megan, what's happening where you are today?
We're at Terminal 3 right now, Arthi, and it's busy. A lot of people here waiting in line to go through security and check in for their flights. But there are still some of those runways closed here at Pearson today. So that plane has been moved off and moved to that hangar. But the runway where it happened and an adjacent runway remain closed. Airport officials had been saying once the plane was removed, the next step would be inspecting the runway to make sure it's okay and safe to start using again. We've asked for details on the timeline of those runways reopening. We haven't received any update from Pearson on that. So we'll keep watch for those runways reopening. And in the meantime, the TSB continuing its investigation, carrying out interviews, examining the plane now in that hangar. We know the flight recorders were sent to a lab in Ottawa, so they're examining those. And airlines, the airport, still trying to get back up and running to 100% after all those flights were canceled and delayed on Monday, and that added to a number of flights that were canceled over the weekend because of the snowstorm. Today there's close to 500 flights set to depart, and about 80% of them are running on time right now, 84%, about 5% canceled. Among the flights we know have been canceled are Sunwing flights. See the counter behind me, Arthi? No customers checking in there today because those trips have been canceled. The company making that announcement yesterday that their southbound flights yesterday would not be going, and same for today. And customers being told that it wasn't just their flights that are being canceled, but their entire vacation packages. We've been meeting some people here who were trying to get more information from the company this morning, and I met one gentleman who was trying to get away to get to his sister's wedding, and he's not going to make it. Take a listen.
Can't even make it. They will not let us get there anyway. So, they said, at first they told us to try to get a new airline and that we'd have to pay our own money, but we'd be getting a refund in 21 days, which whatever. But now the rooms are gone. So it doesn't matter what we do. We're just not going to get there.
They kept saying like, oh, they don't have enough crew members. They have problems with their radio. And then they finally said it was the weather. So like no one was from the airport was giving me a straight answer. And yeah, I'm just frustrated. Obviously, I planned this months in advance. And I don't think it's a good look for them personally.
She did book her trip back in November. She was taking this trip to celebrate her birthday, which is tomorrow. So she's frustrated. So are other passengers we talked to who said they aren't getting a lot of answers from Sunwing. In emails that they've gotten and a statement from Sunwing, their explanation for the cancellations was that they need to prioritize the return of passengers who are currently delayed in their destinations, whose flights to get back home were canceled. And Sunwing saying that due to recent weather, crew availability constraints, and limited hotel capacity is the reason they're canceling their trips. But a lot of those passengers, Arthi, again, that we were talking to, say they're quite frustrated, not really getting the explanations they're looking for, and we're hearing a lot of people's vacation plans to escape this winter weather have sadly been ruined.
Okay, so that's the case for passengers who are hoping to travel this week outside of Toronto. I'm wondering too about those Delta flight passengers. What have they heard from the airline?
Yeah, for the Delta passengers on the flight on Monday that crashed, we know they are now being offered $30,000 US from the airline. And Delta saying that customers are being told this gesture has no strings attached and does not affect their rights. I think that's referring to any legal rights potentially. And we do know two passengers, a couple, have retained a law firm in Toronto. The law firm putting out a news release about that yesterday and saying their clients have suffered some personal injuries. So we'll see how that process plays out. But that money being offered by Delta, and Delta also saying that they're working now on reuniting passengers with their belongings that were left on the plane. Of course, during that quick evacuation, people were told to just get out of the plane, leave their bags left behind, and a lot of them did do that. We interviewed one passenger earlier this week who said his passport was on the plane. He's an American. He can't get home. He's kind of in limbo in Toronto until he can get an update on when he can get his belongings. Delta has hired an external company to help with this process. They are going to clean all the belongings, they say, to ensure that they're not contaminated with any sort of toxic fluids or anything like that as a result of the crash. And so they're warning customers this whole process could take weeks before they get their stuff back.
Megan, thanks for the update on this. That is the CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick in Mississauga, Ontario. And these flight delays and cancellations that Megan was outlining, they're having an impact on Montreal's airport too. The CBC's Kubina Aduro is at Trudeau International Airport in Montreal. He joins me now live. So Kubina, what's the situation where you are right now? What are people telling you?
People are very frustrated here in Montreal that their flights have been canceled by Sunwing. A lot of them are going to Air Transat now because they say that this is the only airline that could accommodate them when they were going down south. At the kiosk where Sunwing is, it is very empty. There is no one. People are leaving the airports. I want to share some stories that I heard from some people. One woman came from Trois-Rivières. That's a 3-hour drive to Montreal. And she says that she was in a hotel. She paid $300 for that hotel. Her flight is rebooked for tomorrow, but she's not sure if she even wants to try to take that flight because then she would have to pay for another hotel. So she's stuck in limbo. Another man came from Gatineau. He's been in Montreal since last night because his flight was supposed to leave at 6 a.m. Gets to the airport and realizes that his flight is canceled. I'm also here with a group of 45 people. Yes, Artie, you heard me correct. 45 people who are going to Dominican Republic who are supposed to go on a Sunwing flight. I'm with Manon Fortin. It's her birthday, her 60th. She's taking 45 people around with her. What happened when you got to the airport?
Disaster. First of all, we were here at 5 a.m. this morning just to find out that our flight was canceled with Sunwing. We tried to get the information all night saying different advice notices. The Sunwing was saying Pearson was canceled, but nothing in Montreal. So we're saying it's okay. Then the airport were saying the flight was on time. So we were all confused. So we said to everybody, okay, let's go to the airport. And we came here and everything was canceled. There was nothing, nobody at the desks. So we were just like devastated, everybody. We didn't know what to do. And there's nobody to help us.
And you're going to the Dominican Republic to celebrate your 60th birthday. When you came and you realized that your flight was canceled, what was going on in your head?
Oh my God, I just wanted to cry. And we were just like everybody looking at each other. What are we going to do? 45 people here. What are we doing with the babies and everything? So I called my agent. I said, it was 5:30. She answered and everything. I says, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And she says, look, let me get on the case. And she called everywhere and we were able to find another flight. We just got the information about an hour ago.
How much extra money is this costing you guys?
$1,000 each extra.
So $45,000 for the group?
For the group, yes.
What is the good news here, though?
We're going to celebrate. Finally, we got the okay. We were 37 people on this flight, so we're ready to leave in 2 hours.
And what are your feelings towards Sunwing right now?
I'm just mad at them. Like they're not human. They're not human at all. They just don't tell anybody. They don't communicate. And they knew the 2 days of flights canceled and they didn't advise anybody. And I had a cousin in Toronto that was supposed to come and they were delayed yesterday too, so canceled. So it's just no communication, no human people, nobody here to help us out. People were crying, just not us, other people. So it's just not human and forever no more Sunwing.
Thank you, Manon, and enjoy your 60th birthday in Dominican Republic.
Thank you so much.
So, as you can hear, Manon is frustrated, but she has a light at the end of the tunnel because she is going to be able to go out and celebrate her birthday. But the thing that she said about not using Sunwing anymore, every person that I spoke to, and I spoke to a lot of people, say that they do not trust the airline anymore because this is not the first time that this has happened to them. So a lot of people are booking with other airlines and some are stuck in limbo. But the main theme here is that a lot of people are paying thousands of dollars to rebook with other airlines.
Really frustrating times for so many. At least there's a little bit of a silver lining for that group. Thanks for this, Kubina. That is the CBC's Kubina Aduro in Montreal.